South African Blood Service has issued an urgent call for donors to bolster national stocks. Traditionally, January is a period of a critical shortage as blood supplies often dip below the required 5-day safety margin following the festive season, while the demand for emergency surgeries, childbirth complications, as well as chronic treatments remain constant. Let's talk about this with Thandi Mosupye from the South African National Blood Service. Thandi, thank you very much for joining us. We are hearing that national blood stocks are currently very low and a 2-day supply for universal types. How close are we to hospitals having to postpone life-saving surgeries as a result?
Good afternoon, Mpumela, and good afternoon to your viewers, and thank you for having us. So our blood stock levels are low at this point in time. As a South African National Blood Service, we are required to have 5 days of stock, and where we are currently is at about 3.3, just gone up slightly today from yesterday, which was at about 3.1. Which is quite worrisome, I think, for us, because we need to maintain the 5 days cover to make sure that there is sufficient blood that can then go through into the health facilities. So it is a challenge, and we are really calling on South Africans to come through and assist us.
Thandi, why does January always seem to be such a red zone then for blood shortages in South Africa?
I think January is a bit of a challenging time. I think no matter the amount of preparation that we do before this festive season, because we do run a lot of campaigns before the festive season just so that we can bolster our stock levels, right? But what you find is that because there is no consistent collections throughout the festive season, and because people have gone on holiday, and people are prioritizing other things, there's, having fun, family festivities, and so forth, it becomes difficult for people to prioritize blood donation, and therefore the collections tend to shrink a bit, right? So our stock levels then go down. And that's really one of the reasons why at this particular time we have a challenge. Also, you realize that, companies close, school kids that we collect through, and universities, people are on holiday. So it becomes difficult for us to have those regular interventions in terms of our collections. And therefore, that does then affect collections during the festive period.
You mentioned that companies are closed, schools are also closed during this period, and these are the hubs from which you collect blood typically. We know that
yes.
Schools are opening, as well as some companies have opened. How soon will you be then going to these hubs to collect blood? And also, what's the eligibility? Because as you mentioned, people have been traveling, and I'm sure that, they may have picked up all sorts of things. Depending on where they traveled to, they may be at risk.
Yes. So our collections continue. I think we are one of those organizations that normally only have one official holiday in a year, which is on Christmas Day. So we do continue. But during the festive season, obviously, the collections are at a reduced rate because, as I said, unavailabilities of companies and schools. And we are starting again now to ramp up those activities to make sure that we go back to our optimal or normal collection schedules through our schools as they open, through universities, through companies as people go back to work. And then in terms of eligibility, you have to be 16, between the ages of 16 and 75. You must weigh about not less than 50 kgs, and you must be in good health. So you must lead a good, you must have a good lifestyle in terms of making sure that your blood is then safe for transfusion. And those people that may have traveled and are not certain in terms of, where they are around the safety of their blood, they can contact our contact center. and just figure out if, some of the activities that maybe they may have gone through a surgery, or you had some medication that you were taking, figure out if that will require you to be deferred, or if it's something that you can still be able to continue and donate. And then I must add, currently, we are looking at calling on Group O, Blood Group O, as Blood Group O is one of those blood groups that is used in emergencies, and therefore we would like our donors that are in the Blood Group O and Blood Group B to actually make hit the call and come to our donation centers, or come to any mobile clinic that we might be hosting around the community.
And of course, Thandi, those groups, Group O and B, are called then the universal donors because they can donate to just about anyone. All right. We often hear that one donation saves about 3 lives. In practical terms, how is a single pint of blood able to save that many lives?
So after your blood is collected, right, and it has gone through the rigorous testing processes that we have, where we test for things like HIV, syphilis, and so forth, your blood then gets separated into 3 blood components, which is your plasma, platelets, and red blood cells. And that is why we say each unit of blood that you donate has got a potential of saving up to 3 lives, because each one of those components of blood then gets used for different uses.
What is the single biggest misconception, Thandi, that you hear from people who are hesitant to donate, and what is the reality?
I think the single biggest misconception is around a lot of people, obviously fear needles, and I think that is normal. People have certain fears around being pricked, but it's not as painful as it looks when you go through that particular process. And at the end of the day, that particular pain is something that, can be able to then go on and save somebody else's life. Whether it's somebody that's going through a trauma, somebody that's going through, regular treatment like cancer patients and so forth. Yes.
Yeah. And so, Thandi, if someone is watching right now and they want to help, what's the golden rule that they need to follow before walking into a donor center?
So if somebody is looking right now and wants to help, firstly, they must meet the eligibility criteria, which is they must be 16, between the ages of 16 and the age of 75. And they must weigh at least 50 kg. And if you want to donate platelets, you must be at least 55 kgs, right? So that's, I think, the first part. And then secondly is that your blood must be safe for transfusion. So you must be leading a healthy lifestyle so that your blood can then be, can be transfused to somebody else. And then, of course, if you want to find out where to donate, you can contact our contact center, which is 0800 11 9031. Or you can follow us on social media to find out where we are having our interventions in terms of collections at shopping malls and things like that. Or you can go onto our website where you will find where to donate, and you can then be able to click your location and then find a donor center near you.
Thandi, thank you very much for your time.